What's up, the world? This your boy Tommy Mav, and I came to give y'all my thoughts on the whole Jokic signs, should Jokic be suspended situation. I'll start out by saying, first and foremost, it's funny the difference in the people, right? Draymond Green was suspended a game. What he did was nowhere near what Joker did. Okay, so first and foremost, people who keep saying that that the guy touched Joker first, he did not touch Joker first. Joker walked over to him, snatched the ball out of his hand, and then shoved him down. Okay, so the guy the first and foremost thing is everybody keeps trying to act like the guy was being obnoxious. He was not being obnoxious. His player went flying into the stands, meaning they could have got hurt. So he was holding the ball, but the truth of the matter is he was trying to make sure the guy was okay. Joker comes running over. That's not his job. Okay, it's the referee's job to go get the ball when a fan has it. But Jokic runs over and tries to strong arm the ball out of the man's hand. The man's like, "What are you doing?" And he just shoves him down. So if that was first and foremost, if that was Draymond Green, he's not going for 1 or 2 games. He's going probably 3 or 4 games if that's Draymond. If that's Allen Grayson, he's going for 2 or 3 games. It just depends on who you are. And somebody saying that Jokic shouldn't be suspended, to me, is crazy. Jokic clearly should be suspended. They're saying that he was provoked, this, that, and the thing. You can't be going out there shoving fans. I'm sorry if it's just, that could have turned into a malice at the palace. He's in a crowd full of people shoving people. When the truth of the matter is, the average basketball player would have looked for the ref like, hey, he's holding the ball. Jokic's coming out shoving everybody, and these same people who would have lost it if that would have been LeBron, or anybody who is seen as some type of player, if they would have went in there doing that, those very same people would have been calling for his head. But it's Jokic, so all of it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody seems to be understanding. Oh, it was this. He was provoked. It's like, now y'all can understand when somebody's being provoked. That's funny, because you have a hard time understanding in other situations. But nobody touched you, right? That guy didn't touch him. That owner didn't push him. The owner just had the ball. And you walk over and snatch the ball out of the owner's hand, like what do you expect them to do? That was uncalled for. You provoked that situation when all you had to do, at the very least, was ask for the ball. But to run over there and just snatch it out of the man's hand disrespectfully, and then when the man objects, to shove him down and think that you wouldn't be suspended, one, he should have been kicked out of the game. Why he stayed in the game is beyond me, because Draymond would have got kicked out of the game. You know what I mean? It's like, if Draymond could be suspended for what he did, why can't he be suspended for what he did? It's crazy. Draymond Green got suspended for trying to step over somebody, and the guy was holding his leg. Y'all can't understand that being a provocation, but y'all can understand somebody looking at you funny after you snatch a ball out of their hand. That's provocation. These are the same people that was calling for Draymond Green's head, but they can't understand. But a guy looking at you funny or not backing up after you snatch a ball out of his hand is the same. It's provocation enough for you to shove him down. But Draymond Green stepping on somebody who is holding his leg, he's a thug. He said this. He said that. And you know who's saying it. The same ones they call Angel Reese a thug, and the same one they call Angel said that Angel Reese had no class, yet cheered on Caitlin Clark. Same people that generally don't need to see the bias in their own prejudice because they've never been confronted by it. But get on there and get Twitter fingers the minute something happened and run on there and try to say something and give their opinion. That's what trips me out a lot of times about those type of people. It's like, bro, nobody would knew you was a racist piece of shit if you just shut up. It's like, it's not enough that you stupid, but you're stupid and you try to make it, and you go out of your way to let people know how dumb you really are. It's like, if you knew how stupid you really were, you'd be very careful about what you said. But because you're too arrogant to know how stupid you are, you go on there saying stuff, thinking that this is what smart people think, but they're just too scared to say it. No, they're too smart to think that. No matter how many things that happen to me when it comes to racism and stuff like that, I am overly cautious about making sure I don't see an entire group of people one way. Because when you start seeing an entire group of people one way, it only ends one way. You end up becoming bitter. You become resentful of people that ain't never done to you, and you walking around waiting on them to offend you. But when you're dealing with a situation like that, you find yourself like, if I was that stupid and I knew I had a tendency to say dumb things, I'm just gonna be quiet. But they're always the first people to run out and start talking. It's like, bro, that was so dumb, and I can't even. Then they run out, I apologize. This, that, that. It's like, bro, nobody asked you for your opinion to begin with. So I'm not gonna go out there. I may not like, stuff that's going on with the LGBTQ ABZ stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna run on my Facebook page and start lashing out at transgender people because I'm mad about a law that's just been passed. That's just stupid. Like, even if I don't agree with the law, somebody voted for it. And at the end of the day, I could care less. Ain't no world don't raise my kid. I'll raise my kid. I don't ever worry about the world having more influence over my child than I do. Because the world may influence your child, but they don't trust the world. They always gonna come back to you for the real if you don't do something to lose the trust they have in you. But by teaching them by lying to them about the Santa Claus and fairy tales and this, that, and the third, and that racism doesn't exist, and this, that, all this stuff that you don't lie to them about, they stop believing in you long term. Like, well, if I can go to the world and get a take that's wrong and is made up. But that's a side note. The point I'm trying to say is I do think that Jokic should be suspended, and I think the same people that were calling for Draymond Green head all of a sudden understand what provocation is. They all of a sudden they understand what it means to be pushed into an act. But now those people who are screaming for Draymond Green to be suspended are now screaming for Jokic to be suspended. It's funny how that works. But that aside, the Suns, I mean, I love a confident KD, man. There ain't nothing more beautiful to watch as a basketball player than a confident KD. I mean, he's such a pure basketball player. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Devin Booker, because Devin Booker's cooking. But KD, when he is on, is one of the most. You ever watch those gymnasts, not gymnasts, but those diving competitions sometimes when it's just like, it looks so effortless for the guy to jumps up in the air and to turn 13 down and then hits the water and it's like barely a splash. And then you look at it, and people don't understand the sport. They'll look at it and they're like, you can do a lot of flips. But it ain't about the flips that got you. It's more the fact that he can do it and control his body so well that he can hit the water without barely making a splash. You know what I'm saying? He in the water with so much body control that there's no water. There's barely any water coming up. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? No, it's a learned skill. It's not athleticism. It's more of a learned skill. But still, it's the awe of it, and that's what I'm watching with Kevin Durant. See this man just jump, bouncing around. You know what I'm saying? Getting leverage, turning. This man got so many bags, so deep. Shoot with his back to the rim, take face up game. You know what I'm saying? Layups. I mean, if there's something that can be done on a basketball court, Kevin Durant can do it. And you sitting there, you watching him, and you'll see him fall back and wow, don't even touch the ball, don't even touch the net. This man doing ISO from half court, getting to a spot and just raising up, whop, ball barely touching the net. I mean, it's crazy to watch Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant, is and I know, you know what I'm saying, it's always been the LeBron, Kevin Durant situation, so a lot of LeBron fans have problems with Kevin Durant. But I think most LeBron fans respect Kevin Durant. I don't think it's a thing like Jordan fans where they're nuts and go out of their way to demean other people to prop up LeBron. Because the truth of the matter is, LeBron doesn't need people to chop down the accomplishment of others for people to recognize his. Why? Because his accomplishments are so vast. His accomplishments are so documented. His accomplishments are so freaking empirical. They're right there. It's like LeBron doesn't have to worry about saying certain things about bigging up other people or giving respect to those that deserve respect, because LeBron James has his niche. He has his history. So I want to ask yourself a question: why Jordan always has such a hard time giving compliments to other people? That should be a true question people ask themselves. Because LeBron has never shied away from saying Steph is an amazing player, this player. Michael Jordan, Shaq, these guys coming behind them, they're the exact opposite. They seem to have a hard time putting someone in their shadow, giving them any type of props. You know, but Shaq's better at it than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is always making the situation harder. I think that's why him and LeBron never really got that close, because LeBron idolized Jordan, but Jordan would go out of his way to try to say things about LeBron, and after a while, you can tell LeBron was just done with it. And I think that a lot of times when you look at those type of people, there's a huge insecurity there somewhere, and they're not acknowledging it, and that they probably need to go somewhere and get off their chest. But you know, obviously, you know, Kevin Durant has taken a lot from LeBron by joining the Warriors, but I think he's given a lot to LeBron in the same instance, and the fact that those legendary battles, you know, although they were one-sided with Kevin Durant, you know, it kind of gave a barometer on how much it takes to beat him, which only builds his legend, in my opinion. But that aside, this isn't about LeBron, it's about KD. KD was phenomenal last night. And people want to say, Book. Well, the difference in the situation is Book is playing amazing. He's doing exactly what he should be doing, and there ain't nobody turning their head to that. What I'm focusing on is the fact that Kevin Durant did it with the clear objective of the Nuggets being to take away him and his shot. Devin Booker was getting ISOs with Caldwell, with guys. Kevin Durant was not getting ISO. Kevin Durant was having to raise up. Kevin Durant was getting doubled. Kevin Durant was doing this, you know, when he wasn't, he was still charged with CP3 out. He was still charged with running the offense in a lot of occasions. I mean, Kevin Durant had a masterful game yesterday. And I feel like most people will be talking about Devin Booker, but nobody really will be giving Kevin Durant his flower for how well he played. And we ain't talking about the game before, how well he played. Kevin Durant to me is just one of those tragic figures that instead of ending up like Charles Barkley, where he ended up being a great player on a in a generation where he wasn't able to thrive. He was now he went and changed his destiny and took the lead of LeBron and said, no, I'm not going to be sitting here and be a Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard talked all that junk. Oh, all these guys are joining up and this, that, and the third. After a while, you started to realize, bro, it don't matter. You scored 71 and y'all didn't even make the playoffs. Bradley Beal, same difference. Nobody, we can want what we want to want. I mean, what we want. But at the end of the day, you only get what you achieve, what you accomplish. And you're not good enough to win by yourself. And to be 100% honest, I don't even think you really, half of those guys are good enough, even if you did give them another superstar beside them. Most of them. I mean, Bill started his career out with John Wall. Lillard played for a while with C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum went over to the New Orleans Pelicans, and they're building a solid team over there. You stay on the which he didn't choose to. They just traded him, right? You, on the other hand, you're staying on the Trailblazers, and nobody want to play for you, and nobody want to play for them. Because nobody wants to go to that small market, and even if they did go to that small market, they can't even rely on you because you hurt 60-70% of your career. Same thing with Bradley Beal. They're the same player. It's like, yeah, they gonna know because they know ain't no other organization gonna let them get away with the stuff they get away with in their organization. Ain't no one gonna be paying you, $50 million a year for you to be sitting on the sideline 40% of the year. Yeah, we good. So yeah, get all the money you can from the Trailblazers because you probably wouldn't get that deal anywhere else because ain't nobody for to pay you because you're just untrustworthy as a player. He just doesn't. He's always hurt, and half the time I don't even be knowing what his injuries is. It's like he'll just miss 10 games. You're like, what's Damian Lillard? Same thing with Bradley Beal. Like, they just missed 10 games here and there, and you're like, well, what happened? Oh, my arm, oh, your arm started hurting right before the road trip. That is very, very odd. Yeah, elbow. Right before the road trip. Yeah. They seem to always get hurt right before road trips. Ain't that weird? But the point I'm trying to say is Kevin Durant didn't end up like that. Kevin Durant took control of his career. Did I agree with him going to the Warriors? No. But it happened. Now he's off the Warriors, and he played for the Brooklyn Nets, and he's dealt with that. And once again, he's like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not sitting there because we do not have the firepower to deal with. You saw what the Celtics did last year. Like, we just gonna focus every single aspect of our defense on stopping Kevin Durant. Someone else beat us, and nobody else could beat them. So Kevin Durant was like, no, I'm good. And you saw the Brooklyn Nets are still good. Yeah, in the first round they get slaughtered. That's how it works. Kevin Durant is not dumb. Kevin Durant knows I'm not going to the playoffs with those dudes. Because everybody, this is what gets me, which makes me laugh all the time. People confuse the regular season and the playoffs all the freaking time. They're not the same thing. Those players know the difference. Look at Austin Reeves. Remember Austin Reeves, throughout how consistent Austin Reeves was throughout the regular season, even at the beginning of the playoffs. And I said, Austin Reeves is going to have to learn how to play playoff basketball. Meaning, everything you do wrong when you're playing a team in a 7-game series, everything you do wrong, they are going to make you learn how to do. And if you cannot do it, you will be pulled. You won't be able to play. And that's the difference between playoff basketball and regular season. Jordan Poole could play all the year, getting his 40-point games. He can barely play against the Lakers. Why? Because they found out he's a weakness, and they found out how to exploit him. And every time he's on the floor, they're going to go to that look to where he's ISO, getting blown by, and Steve Kerr knows he can't keep him in the game. Same thing happened against the Kings. They knew but the difference in the situation now is you can't shade Draymond Green anymore. Draymond Green has to focus on LeBron and AD. Now you getting him on Schroeder, him on Austin Reeves, him on Walker, him on Troy Brown, him on you know what I'm saying, on Rui Hachimura. I mean, he's food. And half of the time when you sitting there watching him, it's like this dude ain't even trying. How you got 3 fouls in like 12 minutes? Like, this man just, as soon as somebody go by him, he doesn't try to slide his feet, doesn't try to move, he just throw his arm out. He's just a lazy defender. That, or he's one of the worst defenders I've ever seen when it comes to basketball IQ. I mean, do you even read scouting reports? Or do you just come out there? It seems like he doesn't know anybody's move. It's like, okay, this guy likes to pump fake here. No, I doubt Jordan Poole even knew that. Seems like he's just like, nah, I'll go and shoot a three. I'm just going to go out there and heat him up. Say, bro, but you got to play defense to stay on the floor. But he'll get a lot of his entire career. He reminds me of Jamal Crawford, right? Jamal Crawford was a great offensive player. Great offensive player. But there's a reason why he's a sixth man. The reason he was a sixth man is because he couldn't stay on the floor defensively. A lot of those guys who are just these great ball handlers, great technically skilled players, they always get the assumption, the benefit of the doubt that they're smart because they can play those things. And you can be very intelligent. You can listen to Jamal Crawford talk. He's very intelligent. Listen to Jordan Poole talk. He seems intelligent. Most people, you know what I'm saying, most of the guys are not dumb. But at the end of the day, that doesn't make your basketball IQ high. And when you watch Jordan Poole and you watch him against the Kings and now against the Lakers, he doesn't seem like he understands the skill set of anybody he plays. He plays everybody the same way. He'll have a big on the perimeter and he'll close off space. It's like, why would you do that? Like, you're not big enough. Like, you're guarding a guy. If you guard a normal person if they guard someone like a bigger guy, like an Anthony Davis, they're going to back off and force him to shoot. He hugs up on Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis get a foul, and he looks at the ref like he's the one that's wrong. It's like, bro, why wouldn't you back up? Steph gets those. They try to ISO Steph all the time. Steph, at least you can look and see that Steph, when he first started out, was a bad defender, but he wasn't dumb. You know what I mean? You, on the other hand, it seemed like you just sitting there watching like, dude, like this dude has no basketball IQ whatsoever. But no, I guess because he gets away with it, because he goes down and shoots up pretty layups and he shoots threes, and nobody pays attention to the fact that he can't stay on the field. Jamal Murray, the Nuggets, same difference. That guy is terrible defensively. But Devin Booker, I wanted to give my flowers to him because Devin Booker was a terrible defender. He still isn't a great defender, but he's a good defender now. And it's because he gives effort. And that's all that really matters when you are playing basketball on the defensive side. Give the effort. Learn the scouting reports of the players. Learn how you're supposed to get them, and learn what they like, where the spots are, where they like the ball, what hands they are. Be a student of the game. And it seems like Devin Booker took that to heart. He gives effort. He stays on, and it seems like he knows the strengths and weaknesses of the players he's playing against. Jamal Murray, no. Either that, or he is the worst defender I've ever seen. I mean, not as bad as Jordan Poole, but he's one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. It's because on the offensive end, they think that, I'll get you back on the offensive end. It's like this, I'll get you back on the offensive end. Didn't Steph show y'all that doesn't work long term? Because not everybody you can get back on the other end. And right now, the Suns are saying, we'll let Jokic do whatever he wants. But we're not letting the rest of y'all beat us. MPJ has been a no-show. Jamal Murray is trying to stay afloat, but he's getting the defensive pressure. Jokic is getting the ball in the post to that third, but ain't nobody worried about Jokic outscoring the entire team. He scored 53 last night in the game. At no point did I think they were going to win that game. Because at the end of the day, Jokic plays slow. He's eating up clock, and it doesn't matter how often he scores. I'll take Jokic scoring 53 over the entire team scoring 80 more points than they would have scored in that same time frame. Because he's so slow, and he runs the clock. Now you're down by 10, bro. You sitting up there trying to doing this, doing that because he's not athletic. That's why I think people don't give a lot of credit to these uber athletic guys. People don't understand how efficient that is when you're talking about running somebody down. When you got a guy like a Steph, a LeBron, a you know what I'm saying, guys who don't rely on dribbling for 20 minutes, like Kyrie, and Kyrie's athletic too. Kyrie can just blow by you, so Kyrie can be the other one when he needs to be. I'm just saying that when they're not like that, meaning they're taking these shots, you know, but it takes them 12 seconds of clock to get it up, and half the time they still shaded, and then they have to pass it out, and now the other team got to try to run a play in 10 seconds, and it don't work. So what ends up happening? Jokic is a pretty smart player, so he realized I can't pass it at this point. So you'll see him get down, and he'll either get fouled, which I think it's funny to me how often LeBron and Anthony Davis are taking the same body bumps that Jokic takes, and Jokic is like 40 pounds heavy. Yeah, he always gets the call. LeBron and AD hardly ever get the call. It's funny how that works, because I was told LeBron doesn't get calls because he's so big. But it doesn't seem to be hurting Joel Embiid and Jokic. They tend to get their fouls. So that's odd to me, that people try to use that excuse that LeBron's just hard to officiate because he's so big and fast. Yeah, he's getting the same body contact that Jokic gets almost every time he ends up at the foul line. It's just odd. That's just my pet peeve that I found to be odd about the way that they tend to officiate LeBron in comparison to everybody else, and AD to an extent. AD dang that got a freaking sprawl out on the floor for them to call the foul on him. But if you know, I mean, AD's like contorting his body, he's got sliding on there, half the time just outright shoving him, and it's like, we ain't seen nothing. And AD's like, what in the world is going on? They looking around like, hey, just play on. Of course, AD is gonna get his anyway. LeBron's gonna get there anyways, but it would help if they got another 10 foul shots throughout the game, but they don't get those type of foul shots. But another person I wanted to get a foul was DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton stepped up. And this is the player he could be if he gave the same effort every game. If you gave him a motor, DeAndre Ayton would probably be the best big man in the league. And that last night showed it. When he wants to play, of course, you need to point out that whatchamacallit gave him 53, whatever, but that was mostly foul calls. And that was mostly when Ayton went on the floor. But it doesn't matter. Ayton, that's the beauty of what I'm saying. Ayton doesn't have to shut you down. You know what I'm saying? Just give the effort and make it hard on you. And even if they lose that game, you know what I mean? I mean, even if they lose the point matchup between him and Jokic, that's fine. You got the W and you had known and all that. I mean, and you had known with the W because you're always there. You're making it hard as you can on him, so that when your starters get back in the game with you, y'all can score. So if I shut his efficiency level down to scoring once every 5 time they have the ball, I'm doing a good job. Especially with how often the Denver Nuggets want to run. And once again, I'm gonna say Jokic is a great player, but Jokic is a very limited player. He's limited defensively. I mean, he had 53 points, but how many rebounds did he have? Because I know he only had like one rebound at halftime. So a guy that big, starting center, shouldn't have one rebound. That's pathetic. But nobody's gonna pay attention to it because hey, he scored he scored 53 points. It's the same thing I was talking about with Jordan Poole. It's like Jokic is terrible defensively, and it does not matter what they do. They can try. They got some great defenders. You know, Aaron Gordon's a great defender. Green's a great defender. Bruce Brown's a great defender. You know what I'm saying? Obviously KCP. These guys are great defenders, but they cannot. I mean, the Nuggets cannot make up for the fact that if you slow down Murray, that Jokic can't stop anybody from really getting to the rim, and if they shoot the mid range, it's even worse. He cannot close out on shooters. He can't protect the rim and close out, and most of the time he's not even trying to protect the rim. He knows he can't protect the rim. He's generally trying to get rebounds or whatever. He's not even boxing. He's not even trying to. Like normally you'll see a five. They're kind of careening around the paint. You don't see him really doing that. Focus on protecting the rim because he knows he can't. And if he tries, he's gonna end up in foul trouble real quick. So I like Jokic for what he is. I just think that they overblow who he is. Like I said before, nobody's gonna mention. They're gonna talk about how great a game Jokic played. Nobody's gonna point out that he was terrible defensively. And that's how the NBA works. Jokic gave you 53. It's like no, he gave you 53 and gave away 70. How many plays did these people get at the rim because he's just not a great rim protector? So when I keep you on the court, you know what I'm saying, and they have to really monitor him because he gets in foul trouble real quick. Cause like I said, he can't contest a shot without fouling people, especially if it's at the rim. So, anyways, I just wanted to come in and take my time and speak on that, because I think a lot of that Suns Nuggets series is a good series. But it's a lot of stuff going on, and yes, I do think Jokic should be suspended. I think if that was a regular fan, it didn't matter that it was the Suns GM, because if that was a regular fan, you wouldn't have done that. You would have got kicked out. You know what I mean? So if they wanna not give Jokic suspension, but you gave Draymond, I think that's kind of ridiculous. Because if you're gonna get Draymond that suspension, you need to give him his. Because what he did was way worse for the league than what Draymond did. Draymond Green was literally being touched and grabbed, and it was a very, very dangerous play. And they talk about, he just jumped up and stomped down his feet. You could clearly see Draymond taking pressure off when he landed. He pushed out. You can see him clearly taking the pressure, putting it on his front leg, and kind of tapping him with the back leg. It's like they talk about like Draymond did some Bruce Lee jump up and freaking break his back step. It's like it wasn't even that serious. But anyway, that's all I want to say. I thought Jokic should have been suspended. So please comment. Let me know what y'all thinking. If you're not subscribed, take the time to subscribe, and thumbs it up if you like it. And let me know what y'all think below if you have the time. All right, y'all. Peace.